Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show with Carol and your daily cast of characters, where we discuss the issues of the day, entertainment news, what's really going on in Washington, and the world. Why don't we just hear it from the horse's mouth himself?
We can't have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of the word confidential or classified. I don't think it's safe to be briefed on national security because the word will get out. I know at some point they're going to be calling, they're going to want to brief me, but I'm not a talker about this stuff. This is like Watergate, only it's worse. Because here, our foreign enemies were in a position to hack our most sensitive national security secrets.
Of course, it turns out the Russians didn't need to hack Hillary's email server. They were able to hack Trump's mouth.
This is like Watergate, only it's worse.
The Lee Michaels Show on the Power of Voices Radio Network.
And good morning. Welcome to the show. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Are you ready? It's Thursday. Has the week gone by fast or what? I think so, at least for me. Hope your day is going well so far. Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show with Carol and the cast of characters. Chris won't be here today. He's out on assignment. We'll catch up with him on Monday. He had some other things that he had to do, some personal pressing things. I think it was a date. I think he's got a date. He's got a lunch date there in Chicago. Yeah, I know, boy. I know. I got spies on you. Well, welcome to the show. There's no shortage of crazy news that is unfolding still, certainly around our wonderful, sane president. And I'm making fun of it. Of course, I don't think he's sane. He's about as crazy as Carol is messing with that microphone.
Well, because it keeps wiggling.
It's not wiggling. What do you want to do to it?
I don't know.
Poor Carol. How are you today?
I'm good.
No, you got what are you eating over there?
I don't know. It tastes terrible, though. I'm not going to
Some cookies.
Some little thing.
Some little things. Some animal
though,
cookies.
I went to the gym in my building. I never go to that gym.
No? Why is that?
So I go in, and I'm the only one there.
Mm-hmm.
So I first I was going to work out in the dark because I don't mind doing that.
But you don't like the dark.
I turned the lights on. I like to work out. It wasn't that dark.
Oh.
And I turned the TV on, and this older lady walks in. Well, I say older than me. And she says to me, "Why are you changing the station?" I said, "Well, I was in here before you."
Oh, Lord. Cat fight.
Well,
Did you throw on the mat?
She thinks she wanted to go into this thing, "You're a renter." I said, "I own my place."
Oh, God.
I said,
She
do
didn't
me
go
a
there,
favor.
did she?
Don't tell me what I can watch.
Wow.
Well, you make sure you put it back wherever it was before.
Wow.
I told her, "Are you talking to me?"
Oh,
So she
damn.
got her stuff and left.
I'm sure she did. Wow. Some people are just crazy.
Yeah.
That's just, I would never say anything to someone like that. I mean, if it was something I really wanted to watch or hear, I would say, "Do you mind if I change the channel?" You
She
can
didn't
ask.
say that.
I know, but that's the appropriate way of handling it. And if you said, "Well, no, I was actually watching or listening to this, if you don't mind," and then that's it.
Well,
Or if you don't
the
care,
funny
then you
thing
change
is,
it.
TV wasn't even on when I came in.
See? Yeah, you snooze, you lose. So if you get here early enough, honey, you can turn on what you want to hear.
Well, the guard watched the whole thing, and he said that she had been in there earlier, but she had left.
Yeah.
So he's got that whole thing on tape if she goes and starts up. But
Well, Who cares?
Some people just wake up and they just want to fight. And
Yeah.
I just don't want to start my day like that.
You
I
should-
want to enjoy my day.
You should have said, honey, do you have bed bugs in your bra?
No, that's why I quit going to the big gyms. I got tired of
Yeah.
trainers would
stupidity.
walk up and say, I have a client and we need that machine. I'd say, well, I guess you'll have to wait till I do my sets.
That's right.
And they'll tell you, those trainers go, yeah, but I only have a certain. I said, well, then you better find another machine.
Yeah.
I got tired of going to gyms and dealing with trainers who think they own the gym.
Yeah, really. Get your own damn gym, dude.
And this is the first time I went down there. I'm serious.
Really.
Yeah, they put all new stuff in there, and I wanted to see what was down there. And I was running
Is
too
it
late
nice?
to go out to the beach and walk, and I want to start doing my arms every other day. So I thought, man, if I got to deal with this.
Yeah, that's stupid. Well, you know what? It'll probably be fine. And how long has it been operational?
Well, we've
the new
always had a
equipment?
gym. They just added more stuff.
Yeah, how long has it's a new stuff been in there?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, after the newness wears off, people won't show up anymore. That's the way that goes, Silly people.
I think she's the same one that swims. And when she gets in the pool, she tells all the kids to move out of her way. I'm lap swimming. Because she yelled one day when my niece was here. But see, I'm the wrong person. If I'm down there and you talk to my kid like that, I'm going to tell you, well, then I would suggest you go over to that empty pool on the other side. Because this was always the kids' pool. But I think she was that same old hag.
Probably. Some people are just ignorant. Let's call it what it is. It's ignorant to act that way. It's selfish. It's being a narcissist. It's being bossy. When if you own your own damn pool, you can do what you want to do in it. But if it's a pool at a complex, condo, rental place, apartments, whatever, you don't own it. You can't dictate to people what they can or cannot do. Now, if the establishment sets rules, then everybody needs to abide by the rules. Plain and simple. But, you have people like that. They're just
Well, we have
jerks.
this problem with a lot of the older people. They think they own the place.
Yeah.
They just never stop. There's
that's
one lady
unfortunate.
everybody hates. Her name's Lana.
Oh,
She
don't name
fights
call her.
with everybody.
Oh,
You would think
damn.
she's
No,
the
she
only one
didn't.
that owns a condo. And
Right.
she came up to my car one day screaming for no reason because I think they had a flood or something somebody's place. I don't know why she came up to my car like that. And she started screaming. And I rolled the window and she started screaming. Now, I don't even want to tell you what I told her, but she got away
I can
from
imagine.
my car.
I'm sure she did.
Don't talk to me like that because I don't talk to you like that. And
Yeah, some
people
people
really
just,
shouldn't do that.
No, it's stupid.
Talk to somebody the way you want them to talk to you.
Yeah, well, they're just stupid. Ignorant people, ignorant and just they're just ignorant. No other way of looking at it.
Yeah, they are. They really are. That's the only thing about having condos is if there's 500 units, you got 500 landlords.
I've decided I'm going to move out into the countryside.
Oh, when is that?
Well, I don't know when, but that's what I'm going to do.
Well, do it before you need a diaper.
Damn. Well, I can get those through Amazon. They'll deliver them directly
Yeah,
to
but
me.
someone's going to have to put it on you.
Oh, that might be kind of fun.
I won't live to do that, I swear. I would rather be dead before that.
Yeah, I'm not down with that one either. But yeah, I don't know. I was in the shower this morning and I was just thinking, see, you know what? I'm at a point in my life when a lot of stuff is just not that important anymore. I don't care to be in the mainstream of the hustle and bustle. Yeah, I've done some great things in my life. I've had a full life. If I don't do anything else, I'll be happy. I'll be happy for the rest of my life.
That's why I ask you all the time to come and bring a chair and just go sit and listen to some music. But you always got to be here. Nobody needs to have a show 5 nights a week.
Well, that's true. That's true. And
You need a break.
I'm seriously thinking about cutting back on the show. I've got a couple of projects that I've committed to working on.
And I'm his assistant.
Oh, Lord have mercy. And so I'm going to complete those projects, but I think I'm going to just not take on any new projects and just kind of, for the rest of my life, just kind of reflect, look back, and enjoy my life.
I don't think you do enjoy your time. I mean,
well, I don't.
Because you're
I'm always busy doing
told
something.
to come here, and then people
It's
change
not
the
just
time.
here, though.
And
It's not just here. It's just, a lot of things that I'm on the phone talking to friends and associates and
I probably
helping people
overdo
out.
it with you because I always want to ride.
Well, yeah.
But I'm kind of
But that's
entertaining, don't you think?
You're entertaining?
When we drive together.
Yeah, you make the trip go by fast.
Yeah, so see.
Yeah, your trip.
And I don't want nothing for free.
Right?
A lot of people have you driving places and they don't even want to offer you a dime.
Well, those are just users.
I
But
found a
that's okay.
story really interesting yesterday. I seen it on the news, and I see it here online now. This guy, he got trapped in an ATM. I don't know if he went in there to collect something or take it out, but somehow he got locked in there. Now, nobody
Wait a
knows.
minute, he got locked in where? The bank?
In the ATM, and you pull up and... So he was sending notes, sliding them out. You got to put that video on. It'll crack you up. Let me see if I can send it to you.
That's funny.
I mean, he was in there over 2 hours.
But inside the bank?
No, outside, and you pull up.
Yeah.
I'll read it to you. A Texas man who became trapped, and I just ate it up. He got trapped inside the ATM.
How did he get in the ATM?
I'm going to tell you in a minute. It just shut me down when I was trying to tell you. I seen it and I thought, well, that's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
I just know he went into the ATM and he couldn't get out. Something happened. He worked for the place and...
Was it a drive-through ATM?
No, yeah, it was one of those you walk up to get your money out.
Well, how could he get stuck? I mean, why couldn't he just walk away?
I wish Helpful was on because he knows all the news. Oh, here it is. Every time I get it up, it moves on me. I don't know.
That's bizarre.
Huh?
That's weird.
Yeah, every time I get it up, it just takes off.
Some banks, like my bank, I go to Chase, and there's when the bank itself is closed, there's a little vestibule area. They've got 2 ATM machines on the outside of the building, and then you can go into like a little lobby area that's isolated from the actual inside of the bank. So I was thinking maybe that's what he got locked in there.
No,
maybe.
he was a Texas man who became trapped inside an ATM. He was slipping notes to customers, begging them to help get him out. He became stuck when he was changing a lock to a Bank of America room that leads to the back of the ATM.
Okay,
and he got locked in.
Okay, now
he couldn't
it's
let
making
himself
sense.
out of the room because he didn't have a key card on him and was unable to notify the bank employees for help. Apparently, he left his cell phone and the swipe card he needed to get out of the room inside his truck.
Nice.
Then when he realized customers receiving cash, he passed notes to them from the ATM receipt. One read, "Please help. I'm stuck in here and I don't have my phone. Please call my boss." They said a lot of people just appeared to dismiss the note as a gag.
I'm sure.
Hooper said, but one called police who detected a faint voice coming from inside the ATM.
Help!
An officer kicked in the door to the room and freed the man.
Said, well, where are
And
you?
he doesn't want his name released.
I'm in the ATM. What? I'm in the ATM. How'd you get in the ATM? What do you mean you're in the ATM? Can you send me some money?
That's got to be embarrassing.
Now I'd be saying, hey man, slip me about 5,000
No,
and I'll let
picture
you out.
if it was later in the day when nobody's at the ATM
Well, yeah.
and he's locked in there.
I'd say, hey man, shoot me about $5,000 and I'll get you out.
I think it's funny how they were saying people were ignoring it.
I'm sure. They said, yeah, okay. What is this, candid camera or something? I'm not going to go for this one. That's too funny. I can see that
thought
happening.
It was a funny story.
I can see that happening.
He won't give his name. He doesn't want his
Well,
name.
of course, he
given
don't
out.
want to be embarrassed as being Boo Boo the Fool.
Now, how would you react if you went up and you heard a voice coming from inside the ATM now, or passing you a note? How would you react to that?
No, I told you. I'd say, hey, give me $5,000 send me $5,000 and I'll get you out. Otherwise, you're going to be in that machine. It's ransom. I want to get paid. 5 G's, I'll free you. I don't know. I would probably call 911.
He didn't have a phone.
No, I mean, if he was talking to me, I would say, okay, let me get you out of there.
People were ignoring it.
Yeah, I'm sure some people thought it was, or maybe they didn't hear him. Now, I wonder how he was passing notes to
Probably
people.
through that little slot. There's a video on it.
That's crazy. Where was this?
Texas.
And, well, of course it was in Texas. Of course.
I'll send it to you.
Of course it was in Texas. Only things like that would happen in Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, or the Carolinas. It's just that food they eat down there in the South, it just mess you up. Okay, I got it here.
That's a great story, though.
Man trapped in ATM slips help me note to customers. Well, at least he had pen and paper. I'd been slipping $100 bills to you.
Yeah, he's lucky he did, because no telling how long he would have been in there.
Right.
They might have opened and found a skeleton one day.
Especially if it was late at night at an isolated, bank. So he was servicing the machine?
He was changing a lock.
Changing the lock.
And he
Okay.
forgot to bring his phone and the key to get out.
Ober Weber.
Where's Elfo?
I don't know. He hasn't checked in. He's probably eating a cheeseburger.
Well, your lights are all on.
My lights?
Yeah, right here.
What lights?
These ones.
They're always on. That's a mixer console. But he's not up here, so you'll know when he's on when you see it up here on that monitor. It's nobody but you and me. So you're gonna have to put up with me
I'll
today.
leave and let you handle it.
That's too funny. Donald Trump is in France. Maybe they'll keep his monkey ass. Hold him hostage and we won't pay it. Did you see the a post on Huffington Post from Barbara Streisand? She just raked the president over the coals, and she didn't lie. She didn't make up anything. She called it the way it is. She said he's a narcissist, which he is. He's a self-serving jerk, and I'm sure he's going to retaliate and say something back to her because his ego is so huge that he has to say something. He has to. And if he doesn't, then he's probably figured out that, you know what, maybe I just need to stop this Twitter thing. Because a lot of the noise that he's making is as a result of what he says on Twitter. Now, just think, if he had not said any of the things on Twitter that in the last 6 months, I'll just go back 6 months. Well, I don't want to even deal with the campaign because that stuff was so ridiculous and evil and mean, nasty, and criminal that I don't even want to go back there. So if he just stopped doing the crazy stuff on Twitter, maybe he would have more time and learn how to be the president of the United States. But see, that falls in the category of common sense. And he's a little short on that. Not a little, he's a lot short. He's short. He's a mental midget when it comes to common sense.
I thought that French president can't stand him.
Well, the French really can't stand Americans anyway. They're kind of, I think they're two peas in a pod. You know, when you go to France, well, I've never been there, but everybody I know that's been there, I say they're kind of standoffish, and if you don't speak French, you know, they kind of like look down their nose at you. So you know how I feel about stuff like that. If you don't receive me, then shame on you. I won't spend my money with you. I'll beg people to take my money. No why. You know where that little accent comes from, Carol?
No.
People down in Florida, they say why. No why. My buddy Andre turned me on to that. And I'm saying, what are you saying? He said, why? I said, what is that? Because I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. So, you ain't going no why. No why? What are you talking about? What are you? So he had to teach me to speak like the country folk down in Florida. And he would try to put a straw hat on me and ask me to dress up in some bib overalls. He's just going to make me a country fool, right? And I said, no, man, that ain't me. That's not me, Andre. Maybe I'll call him and get him on the line. He's always got something funny and crazy to say. So what are you doing this weekend? Carol?
Oh, usually you don't address me.
There's nobody here but you and I.
Oh, so now I get to be here.
Yeah.
Let's see, what am I doing? Well, tonight I'm going to go over to listen to music at outdoor little concerts they have.
Okay.
And then tomorrow I'm going with my son to a concert.
Oh, who are you going to see?
That guy I told you. What did you say his name? Nile or?
Nile Rodgers?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
And
now who is he? Is he playing with someone? Or
I didn't even ask my son.
Okay.
It's just a date, he said.
That's nice. Cool in the gang. Well, you got a fun-filled weekend planned, so that you should be good.
No, I'll find things to do. I'm not going to just sit there.
Yeah.
I'm kind of enjoying Jim not being there.
You'll miss him.
No, he's not moved. He hasn't moved. He's away. Yeah. I don't like the mess they make. I get tired of cleaning behind them.
Well, you shouldn't. When you put yourself in that situation, you become a slave to somebody else's bad habits. And you have to establish the house rules and say, look, this is the way it is. And, you know, you don't go behind them and clean it up. When they realize that, damn, she didn't do it this time, then they'll have to do it.
He doesn't care. I don't think he sweeps this room all year.
Oh, well. He would have been evicted out of my place a long time ago. No. Can't be like that, bro. You can be nasty in your own house, but not up in here. That's not right. But you know what?
Well, I hope you don't move. I won't have no friends.
You don't go behind them and clean it up. Uh-oh. I got my playback. They realize that, damn, she didn't do it this time. Talking to myself. But really, that's just wrong. Well, that's why I wouldn't have people living in my house. If they're not part of the family, then you can stay over, weekend, a week.
Well, I don't think I could live with my family now.
Oh, yeah, well. Yeah, some family members you can't live with.
No, I just think we're all too crazy. They're probably saying, speak for yourself.
I didn't say a word. I'm not going to vocalize or give opinions about your family or anybody else's family. Hell, I got crazy people in my family, so yeah, I get it.
I think everybody does, and if people say they don't, then there's something wrong with your family.
Yeah.
If you're perfect, there is definitely something wrong. I'd be questioning that one.
Right. I feel you. I understand that one. But, some families are just perfect. Everybody gets along and they want to be around each other all the time. And another family, they don't have the same kind of camaraderie. And they don't want to be all up under each other all the time and stuff like that. And see, I have moments. There are moments when, I want to be with family, and then there are other times when I don't. And it's nothing against the family. It's just that I need some me time.
There was a award show on last night. It might have been an athletic one.
Mm-hmm.
But they gave the big award to this little young kid. He was sick.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to all the sports and that, and they treated him well. Well, one time he was going to die. They just said, take him off. We can't. But they took the machine off, but he lived.
Really?
He finally, I think he was waiting for a kidney or a liver.
Mm-hmm.
Very intelligent little kid. But all the sporting people, from wrestling to everything, they just love this little kid.
Mm-hmm.
So when he won the award, it was like watching a little man give his speech.
That's nice.
I thought it was really nice.
Yeah, it is. It's very nice. It's nice when celebrity types, sports figures, organizations, companies, whatever, embrace those in need and give them hope. I mean, that's really what we are all about. When I say we, meaning Americans and civilized human beings, not just Americans, people from around the world. And when we do that, I think I just think that's what we're supposed to do. Why not? If we're in a position financially, or if we have the time, the relationships, the ability to help people, then you should. Hell, I do it all the time without even thinking about it. And sometimes, I don't have a lot to give. I give what I can. I give to any worthy cause that makes sense. Sometimes I might be coming out of a grocery store and somebody might be out there with a little table and they've got little things set up and they're asking for help. In fact, I got one right here in front of me. Child Fund. It's an international organization that you can donate money to help children in third world countries. So, I always give. Always. And I believe in what goes around comes around. You never know when you might be in need, or a family member, your child, your grandchild, or whatever might need help. So if the world continued to rotate and everybody gave a little something, then everybody will have something. It's just that simple. So I believe in that. I just do. That's the way I was raised. My mother and father were not wealthy people, but they were good people. They taught me how to respect and love and care and give. Don't expect anything. When you do something, do it out of the goodness of your heart, not for something in return. Those things come back in return because you put out some goodwill. But don't expect it, and don't get disappointed when it doesn't come back. It will eventually. And it doesn't necessarily always have to come back from the person that you helped. So if I help you today, and you're never in a position to reciprocate, and not always do you need to, you accept a gift from someone If it helps you, great. And if you have the opportunity to help someone else, you pass it on. I can't tell you how many people have helped me in my lifetime. Hundreds of people have reached out and pulled me along. And they didn't need that same thing from me. But maybe 20 years from then, their son or daughter or grandchild or someone they know might be in need, might need a little kick in the butt, a little inspiration, a little advice or job or whatever. You do what you can. So that's the way it's supposed to go. And you shouldn't, be cynical. And yesterday, Carol and I were out, and there was a guy standing in the median. He had a sign up. He said, what did he say? Please and thank you. But it wasn't like he didn't say I need food or I need a job or anything like that. And I'm a clown. So
I know I almost ejected Lee out of the car.
I'm a clown. I mean, I didn't disrespect the guy or anything, but I said to Carol, Carol, he was dressed clean. He wasn't, looking like a homeless person. And then when we got up to him, Carol had taken out, some money to give him. And then when he came up, he said something about he was from Vegas or something.
Well, he had a little bit of a speech impediment. I could hear it.
I didn't hear that as a speech impediment. It was an accent of some kind. And I thought he was kind of putting it on. But, we gave him the money and moved on. But when he started talking.
Not we.
Well, you gave him money, yeah. I was driving. I couldn't get
you don't know the
money.
guy's situation.
No, but he had a mouthful of gold.
Big deal. Maybe years ago he had
money.
money. I mean,
yeah.
You still can, but should you have to give up everything? I mean, there's homeless people that still have their Mercedes.
Well, they ain't homeless. So they shouldn't be homeless. If you're riding around in a Mercedes.
It'd be like if I all of a sudden was homeless. I own my Lexus, so I could live in it.
Yeah. I'd sell a car and get me a place. That's what I would do. Being out there on the streets, man, is just not good. It's not good. It's not a good idea. It's not a good place to be in. It's too much crazy out there in the streets. Somebody roll up on you in the middle of the night, you sleeping in your car. Boom.
Well, sometimes you have no choice.
Well, that's true. You got to do what you got to do. It's called survival. I get that. Totally. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions. And I told a story about the time when I first moved to St. Louis. I had to make a decision of paying the hotel bill that the radio station was supposed to pay, and they didn't. So my first paycheck went to the hotel.
Wow.
Otherwise, they were going to probably lock my ass up. And then one of the
possibly
tech
shoot
guys,
you.
one of the tech guys at the station, John Lewis, saved my life. He allowed me to stay at his place. And he had a studio apartment, and we both shared the bed. We had different shifts. And
he cleaned that up real fast.
No, well, even if we had to sleep in the same bed at the same time, you got to do what you got to do. And so I'll never forget that. Never, not every time I talk to him, but I have reminded him, and I appreciate the fact that he was such a nice person. See, so.
Did you see this in Bakersfield with this young black girl? Those cops beat her terrible. But what bothered me is how could you mistake this, and she was small, tiny, this black teenage girl was mistaken for a large black man. She didn't know what she did wrong. She had stopped to drink a little water.
Oh, this is a girl on the bicycle?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that to me
got me
yesterday.
very angry.
Well, you know what? Listen, Bakersfield has a horrible reputation for doing stuff like that. Here at the Power of Voices, we have a show here called Straight from the Streets. And Raina is the host of that show. She interviewed a guy, and I think the show is running now. So look on our webpage and look for Straight from the Streets. I think that show is still running. But they beat up a guy, and they were beating the hell out of him. And they stopped only when he said, "Hey, man, my dad is a cop." And that probably saved his life. So now his dad has filed a lawsuit, well, the family, I guess, has filed a lawsuit against the Bakersfield cops. So obviously they have a history of just jacking people up like that. You're out there in the middle of the desert in Bakersfield. You're driving through and you get stopped by a cop. You better be real cool.
You know, I'm seeing too much of this. Like, there was a young black woman in a store.
Mm-hmm.
You should have seen him hitting her with the club because somebody complained, and all the people standing around, you could hear him telling them, "You need to stop." And he's like trying to handcuff her, and she goes, "I can't." It's obvious he had hurt her pretty bad.
Yeah.
Turns out there was one person that complained, but you beat her horrible. And then I seen another thing where they were arresting this young guy, and I don't remember if he was black or white, but they had the canine on him, and they couldn't even get the damn dog off of him, and he was chewing the man's arm up. Now, if you can't control these dogs, then I don't think these dogs, they're like a cop, to be honest. That's what I seen.
Well, if the cop doesn't give the correct command, these dogs are going to continue to gnaw at you. And those dogs are highly trained, or they should be, before they bring them out on the streets like that. They're supposed to respond immediately to a command.
Well, I mean, they're offering to help this girl out. They're going to give her money to shut her up.
Sheesh. I want some jobs lost behind some stuff like that. In addition to, some kind
How
of
could they mistake her?
civil
They said she was really tiny.
Yeah, you can't make sense out of crazy people.
Oh, there's the
like
one
that.
I was talking about with the woman in the store and beat a homeless woman for resisting arrest. And everybody in the store, all the people, there was only one person they said that had complained. And now they're reopening this case.
What was the complaint? That she was homeless?
They don't say.
In the store?
They said she didn't bother. I mean, you have to see how he's beating this woman. He's literally beating her.
Yeah, that's.
It just made me sick when I seen this.
See, when you see stuff like that, and then
and
cops
then he
come
tells
out.
her, "Let it go, or I'm going to shoot you." And this bystander's telling her, "Go ahead, put your hands behind." She said, "I'm trying." And then the police said, "Put your hands." You have to see this. This made me very angry, and this was in Georgia.
See, it's videos like that.
And
that
the
get
woman
people
keeps
in the
asking
streets
him, "What did I do?"
Upset, and that's why people go after cops, because when you see this kind of behavior, and there's no real explanation as to why they continue to beat the hell out of someone. This guy's a full-grown ass man with all the protection gear on. He's beating this woman with a stick. She's down on the ground. And you tell somebody, as you beat the shit out of them for a couple minutes, put your hands behind the back. Maybe a damn arm is broken, or you've got nerve damage already, and you can't put your arms behind your back, and they continue to beat you.
And I think he's a minority cop. I can't tell. Can you tell?
I don't know. It doesn't matter to me.
No, he's a cop. I mean, and then he uses this. He arrested her for resisting arrest.
Arrest for what?
Well, that's what she wanted to know.
Yeah.
I mean, she can't help it if she's homeless, but I mean, he's beating her terrible. And she's trying everything to stop him. He's hitting her with that billy club. I was very upset. I see this, and then there's just so much happening right now. Crime, like those two little babies. Now, you know damn well those parents killed those two little kids. They ran them to the hospital, called, maybe the mother didn't, but the boyfriend or someone did. Both of them died. And
now,
they
where
said
is this?
Not sure what state that was in. See, I read that stuff. You know, that's just so violent. Every day you see this kind of stuff.
Well, your president is in Paris talking about the scandal here in the United States with his son. He's saying
please.
most people, this is at a news conference in Paris. He's saying most people would have met with the Russian lawyer. Bullshit. Anybody with an IQ 2 points above plant life, even below plant life, would not have met with a foreign national, especially Russia. Why? They're telling you we got some skullduggery we want to share with you. No, you don't have that meeting. You don't become so inquisitive that you're willing to sell your soul for rock and roll. Russians will not meet with you unless they're looking for something in return. Remember that. Remember, Putin ran the spy organization in Russia. He's a criminal. He's worth, what, several $100 billion, I hear? So what do you think he's all about? Him and Trump are cut from the same cloth, but Trump can't drink his bathwater because he's a chump to Putin. He's a chump. He's Putin's chump. I could call him something else, but I'll just leave it at a chump. Y'all know what I mean. So you're outside of your country saying most people would have met with the Russian lawyer. No, they wouldn't. No, they would not have. But that just shows you how ignorant he is about the protocol, what you should or should not do as it relates to being associated with a political candidate who is running for the highest office in our country. That just shows you how naive he is. Or just, I'm not even going to give him the benefit of that, how stupid he is. And he should be nowhere near the White House. Even the hotel down the street from the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue, he shouldn't even be allowed to go there. It's too close to the White House. Too close. And the apples don't fall far from the tree. His knucklehead junior is just as dumb as he is.
This is the one I was telling you. He's not even resisting arrest, and they're letting that dog chomp on him.
Yeah, he's got it. Now, his hands is behind his back.
Thank you.
He's handcuffed, and the dog still has his man's arm in his mouth.
And they're not stopping him.
There's no reason for that. And there's how many cops there? 3?
Let me see. 3.
3 cops. The man is in handcuffs, face down on the ground, no shirt on. Dog has arm in mouth, gnawing away at him. That's nuts. In America. Let's see. What else is your president doing here? But, you know, in this the series of emails between Trump Jr. and his connections in Russia, what's interesting is in one of the emails, what's this guy, Goldstein, Goldberg, or something, Goldstone, suggested that he talk with this pop star who's closely associated with the Russian government. The pop star and his father are very close to Putin. So before the meeting with the Russian lawyer, he had a conversation about the information that the lawyer allegedly was supposed to share with him. So it looks as if prior to the meeting, he was able to get some information about whatever this information was to be shared with him. So Donald Trump Jr., his brother-in-law, and the head of the campaign all met with this Russian female lawyer and a translator because allegedly she didn't speak English. Now, During the email conversations back and forth, the meeting was set back for another hour later because this Russian lawyer was in court in the United States handling some business for the Russian government on a scandal going on over $230-some million. Now, I'm paraphrasing to give you the short version of this trail of bovine that these guys are all twisted up in. What they should have done was said, no, we can't have that meeting, but call the FBI and get them involved. You don't negotiate or get information from a foreign country that we're not friendly with. There's protocol. That goes through the federal government. If there's some incriminating information about Hillary Clinton or whoever, it doesn't matter who it's about. It goes through the proper channels. That's maybe endangering national security. And Lord have mercy, these Trump people, they shouldn't be anywhere near national security. Now, because of this big question mark hanging over Trump Jr. and the brother-in-law and this other clown, should any of them have any level of security as it relates to national security? Should they still be in the loop? I say no. You can say, well, he just made a mistake. It was bad judgment. Yeah, well, there's a long line of bad judgment, not only from Trump Jr., but from his daddy, his brother-in-law, his sister, Lottie, Dottie, and everybody. All of them. Long string. How many times has their disclosure agreement been amended? The brother-in-law threw him under the bus because he said, oh, damn, I forgot about that meeting. So he contacted his lawyer and got his disclosure amended again. And that might have been the beginning of opening up Pandora's box. So he's protecting himself and threw his brother-in-law, Donald Trump Jr., under the bus. Now, what's his name? The brother-in-law's name. I'm forgetting his name here. What is it, Carol?
Jared Kushner.
Kushner, yeah. His daddy went to federal penitentiary for a similar situation. Did y'all know that? There's a long line of criminals.
Christie was the prosecutor.
Huh?
Christie, when their father went to prison,
Yeah.
Christie was the prosecutor. That's why he didn't get a position.
So you see, folks, there's a lot of crazy stuff. There's a lot of history here. Even Trump's lawyer has a dark background. Y'all better pay attention. The people that we have running this country right now, not only do they not have your best interests at heart, they're playing a really, really scary game with the security of all of our lives and our allies. 'Cause they're like crabs. They're scavengers. They're nasty, mean-spirited, selfish people. They don't give a damn about nobody but themselves. Follow the money, folks. Kushner got $230-some million from the Russian banks. They've been doing business in Russia. Follow the money trail. It's no different than the Bushes. The Bushes were all up in the Middle East oil. Obviously, they couldn't control their business partners. That something went wrong in those oil deals, and that's why we were attacked. I believe that. I ain't into that conspiracy crap, but it has to have something to do with it. And then they pissed off, what's his name? Osama bin Laden. See, he used to be an ally. He was the guy that took on the Russians over in Afghanistan, and he beat the Russians because we supported him. We gave him ammunition, money, training. He actually beat the Russians. He ran them out of Afghanistan. And after that, we were done with him. Then he went rogue and turned against the United States. We create monsters from time to time. And that was the beginning of the whole Middle East explosion. Will it ever end? I don't know. It's like dominoes. You know, when you get a line of dominoes standing up and you hit the first one and it just tumbles down one after the other. That's what we're experiencing over in the Middle East. And it's like a snowball rolling down a snow-covered hill. It's growing and growing and growing until it hits the bottom of the hill. Then you got a big, huge snowball to deal with. You got landslides along the way, avalanches. So to change the subject here a bit, I'm seeing headlines here where Venus Williams defeats Johanna Konta, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, to reach the 2017 Wimbledon final. I don't think she's ever been there to the final before. She's having a good year. Her sister is now about to become a mommy. Read a little article about her sister, Serena. And she's a very humble person. They come from Compton, California, 7 people in a 2-bedroom house. And she went on to say that how her father kind of mentored her, but allowed her to make a few mistakes, even financially. He didn't dictate to her, she's saying, about what to do or what not to do. He gave advice, but then he allowed her to make the final decision. So consequently, she's done quite well financially. But she said she was never in the game for the money. She was in it for the love of the game. And I think that's important in whatever you do in life.
Is that the one that's pregnant?
Yeah, Serena.
Well, she married one of the richest people around. She's marrying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's Reddick, R-E-D-D. It's a app or something.
Oh, yeah.
Magazine. That's him.
Reddick.com, okay.
That's who she's marrying.
He's wealthy, huh?
What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I know the website, and what it's all about, but I don't know how much it's worth. I never really paid that much attention. It's not one of those social media sites that would be in my top 5. So I really haven't paid much attention to how they're doing financially, but I guess they're doing good. I guess so. Well, good for her. I'm happy for her. I think she's outstanding. She's an incredible athlete. Seems like a nice person. You don't really hear any scandal about her, do you? Have you?
With the car wreck? I don't think it's
no, that's Venus. That's it, the younger sister. I'm talking about either one of them, really. Other than the car wreck, they've been pretty clean. Not a lot of scandal about them. Not like, the Kardashians or somebody like that.
I don't think she was at fault, though, they said, when they went back and looked at the cameras.
No. Yeah, I've heard.
Sounds like nobody really was at fault.
Yeah,
I think they made a left turn or something.
Uh-huh.
Which I'm sure she feels really bad.
Yeah, the man died. He was an elderly man, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, car accidents are just that. They're accidents. And sometimes they can be prevented, and sometimes you just don't see it coming. And it happens. Boom. Have you been in a car accident?
Yes.
More than one?
No.
No, just one.
Yeah, and I deserved it. I was high.
Oh, you were at fault?
Yes, I was high. I had a friend's car, and he said I stole it just to make, and I never stole his car. He let me use it, but I was high.
Well, he tried to get out of it, not have any liability. Is that
I
what?
don't know
why he
what
did
it
that?
was, but I didn't realize I was really in jail either.
Really, you were really
Because
high.
I was high.
What
That's
were you high
probably
on?
something called mescaline, like an acid.
Mescaline.
Mescaline. I was
mescaline.
real young. I don't do nothing like that now. I haven't did anything like that in years. But
That was psychedelic, man.
yeah, I remember them picking up my head and people screaming, "She's dead!" And the cop said, "No, she's stoned." But they put me in jail. I think I
Wow.
still have a scar, and my ribs were all broke. They didn't care. They threw me in jail.
Wow.
And I was okay in jail because I was tripping. I thought I was not in jail.
They didn't give you any medical attention, huh?
No.
Wow.
I told you
Where
where,
was
I'm
this?
from, Montana.
It was in Montana.
They don't like Indians, so they could care less if I died.
Wow.
But it was kind of a trip. Because,
You were young then, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just remember I didn't really think I was in jail. I was, I was high. And this is why I'm saying this is for young people think. I tell my son all the time, and luckily these kids have Uber now because most kids don't drive now.
Yeah.
They park and they all get in and they share an Uber
That's true.
because it's so
I
cheap.
get them all the time.
Well, some nights it's not. They say sometimes you'll get in it and it's 4 times as much as it normally is. Is that when it's surging?
Yes. Yes.
So they don't like it when it does that. But kids don't drive. You
Well-
don't see as many drunk driving accidents now.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't like the surging either because it's a lot more for the passenger and it helps the driver, makes a little more money. But when you look at, let's say the ride would normally be, say, $10. With a surge, it might be $25. Well, it just depends on how big the surge is. But let's just use that as a number. So it goes from 10 to 25. You get home safely. But if you were driving and you got stopped for DUI, it's going to cost you $10,000 or $20,000 to get out of that. So the $25 is really still nothing compared to the trouble that you could be in if you got stopped under the
Yeah,
influence.
well, that's why I'm saying it's just from my own experience.
And it's still 2 or 3 times cheaper
Yeah.
than a cab.
And most people would never admit to something like that, but doesn't bother me to
Yeah.
be honest. It might save somebody's life being honest.
Sure. I've been in car accidents before, but never under the influence.
Oh, I was under the influence.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I didn't think I was. I just remember hearing people screaming, "She's dead."
Wow.
And I remember them picking my head up and saying, "No, she's stoned."
She's just
So I
got a
learned
little buzz
I
on.
learned a lesson. I would never. I'm probably one of the most cautious people now.
Mhm.
And I think at that time too, I got this scar on my arm because I had a pop bottle,
Mhm.
and the bottle went into my arm.
How?
So I have a scar from that. It broke the bottle.
In the car, the accident?
Yeah,
Oh,
and the
okay.
bottle went into my arm. So they didn't treat that either at the time.
Dang. That's messed up.
Yeah. But you know what? It'll teach you a good lesson. I could be dead.
Yeah, that's
Or I
true.
could have killed somebody.
That is true. So when you look at it at the end of the day, it turned out okay.
I'm
Could have
kind
been
of
a lot
glad
worse.
Sky don't drive, but then I worry about the people that drive her.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if Lyft and Uber really check these people good enough. Are they drunk sometimes driving them?
Well, I've heard that there's some
I've
drivers
heard girls have gotten raped from some of these guys.
Yeah.
But then we have a female that hacked a driver to death.
Yeah.
So it's,
For no reason.
yeah, a couple have been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter was telling me things, when she drives, and I don't think I could do it. I would probably make no money because I would kick you the hell out of my car. I would hit the brake and say, "Get out!
Get out.
Get
Get out
out.
of my car now.
I know I would because,
Yeah.
like, both of them have had experiences. I don't know if we have any listeners or that, but you told me of one, and she told me with people letting gas. Now that's kind of rude.
Yeah.
That
Well, at
is
least the lady I had in the car, she gave me the heads up. She says, if you don't mind, roll the windows down because I got a gas problem. I said, well, thank you for the
you
warning.
can't hold it, or should I pull over and let you
Yeah,
out
really.
to do it?
That's what I should have done because I'm telling you, something crawled up in her and died. It was bad. I had to roll my window down.
My
She
head
was
would
in the
have
back
been out
seat.
the window.
Whew.
My daughter
That was
said when
bad.
it happened to her, they just said nothing. They just sat back there and
Pretended
said, "Yeah,
it
didn't
wasn't
even-
me. Must be you,
They
driver.
didn't say one word. They
No.
just did it, and
That's
I
nasty.
probably would have been in the back laughing if I did it. My sister, though, used to do that just to be funny.
Really?
In real
Women don't pass
expensive,
gas.
she would go into
What?
real expensive stores and
And
let it
drop a
loose
bomb
and then
and
move
leave.
back and sit and watch the people walk into it.
No.
You would never think that she would do something like that, though, now.
That's bad. Most women say they don't pass gas.
Oh,
Why is
please.
that? Why do y'all lie like
Well,
that?
I don't lie. Everybody pass gas. It's a
Absolutely.
natural function.
It is, especially after some beans.
No, they say cabbage.
Well, cabbage too. Beans, cabbage, anything that's got. I guess it's what is it? Gas, acid or something. I don't know. But everybody's system is a little different. There's nothing worse than a garlic fart. That's nasty. Oh, or it's coming out of your pores. Yeah, that's when you've eaten too much garlic. That's just over the top at that point. Stop it. When you walk into a room and people can smell the garlic before you get to them, that's too much.
It is.
Yeah, it's way too much. Stop it.
Even though garlic is extremely healthy. for
Yeah,
you.
but hey, come on. It ain't that damn healthy. That stuff can be kind of rough.
But it is very healthy.
Yeah. It's not
Because
a
they
pleasant
tell it lowers your cholesterol and that, but I don't know. Do you want to walk around like that with a smell?
And why is it that people that have had a lot of garlic in their food, they want to get right up in your face and talk to you?
I don't know, but the little kid
Why?
that stays with me, he has the worst breath. I don't know how he doesn't know that.
Oh, God.
You got to be very conscious of your bodily functions.
You should be. Be respectful for the people that you're around, the environment. If you don't, you're going to be a little gassy. Maybe you don't go out that night. Stay home and suffocate yourself.
Well, to me, too, if you have that problem and you're with somebody, let them know. Say, walk ahead of me.
No, stay home.
Or stop the car and let me get out for a minute.
It was a year ago. You know how Facebook has these little flashback memory things? 1 year ago today, we did a show called Stop the Killing. You remember that show? I remember doing that show. That was during the time when the cops were beating up people, choking people, shooting people. It was like one after the other after another, a year ago today. Oh, about a year ago. So what has changed? Still happening.
I think it's worse. It's really bad right now.
Yeah.
Especially in Brooklyn. Did you see where those 4 guys were missing, those 4 young guys?
Yeah. Was that Pennsylvania?
Yeah, well, they found one of them dead.
Yeah, I saw that
They
this
think
morning.
this one guy did it that knew them.
Mm.
He was a little strange because the parents kind of must feel that way, too, because they said they feel bad. But I'm sure all 4 of those bodies are buried there. And they were all
Yeah.
very, very young guys.
I'm just on Facebook here looking to see what else is going on out there that we can chat about.
Well, I'm going to leave and go get a pedicure. No, I'm not. I'm not going to leave you.
Well, if you want to do that, that's fine. And so Val Young says, eat it raw. What are you talking about? Garlic? Yeah, garlic. Yeah, I know it's healthy, but it stinks. It's got a strong smell to it. Yeah. And then, somebody's eating garlic, and then they want to get all up in your face and kiss and all that, That and cigarettes. I can't handle it, man.
No, somebody that smokes a pipe or cigar. I
Pipe,
remember
cigars, cigarettes.
my friend fixed me up with this guy. I didn't really want to go, and she kept saying, he really wants to take you out. And she goes, because she was a judge, and he was. So I go out with him. I meet him at the restaurant. I could smell that stink sitting across the table from him. That cigar or pipe that he smelled. It smelled like number 2.
Dang.
He couldn't understand why I couldn't eat. I could not eat.
Because you stink.
And then my other friend fixes me up with a date. And I'm out with him. And I've told this story before, but I could smell mothballs on him. He must have dug the sweater out of the
out of the closet
for this
sitting
date.
in it. Wow.
And I'm supposed to be impressed because he's an ex-football player. I could care less. But
mothball sweater.
I sat there and I could smell the mothballs. But the best part was when he started sucking his teeth. He was sucking his teeth and then took out a toothpick and started digging the food he was eating. And he wasn't done eating yet. And it's like, most people would at least put their hands over their mouth.
Wow.
Or go to the bathroom and do that. Bring a toothbrush with you and some toothpaste. But I don't like people to fix me up because I think sometimes people think they're funny. They'll fix me up with some reject. And I'm nice. I'm not going to get up and leave the person. I'm not going to do that, but sometimes you want to. And then I tried the online dating. Everybody's like,
really?
Hey, yeah, you got an online date. Even my ex told me when he wants to go out to dinner or something, he's not dating. He doesn't want to really get involved. He said he just goes online, he finds somebody, and there it is. I go, well, that's terrible. He probably goes into that Tinder because that's more like that. So my first online date was with an Asian guy.
Really?
So
you like Asian guys?
Yes. I meet him at a coffee shop, but not this type. He was one of those that looked like my roommate.
Okay.
And he's like, do you like me? Now, what am I going to say? Hell no, I don't like you.
I don't know you, dude.
Yeah, you're nice. You're nice. I almost couldn't breathe trying to tell you, you're nice. He walks me to the car. I think I want to take you out again. Okay? I like you. And I'm like, okay.
Would you change your number?
I didn't answer the phone. But then my next date, this is what did it. So the guy calls me and we talk, and he goes, I'd like to meet you at a really nice place. We'll have a nice dinner. I said, okay. He said, now, would you wear a real short dress? I said, what? Would you wear a real short dress? So I wanted to hear what all he had to say. He said, wear a real short dress. Said, you don't got to wear underwear if you don't like them. I thought, what does he think he's going to tell on me or something?
Wow.
I said, that's it. Carol does an online date. No.
Wow.
I just couldn't do it.
Jeez.
I mean, I hear great stories that people meet their lover for the rest of their life. But
right.
It doesn't happen to me for some reason.
I don't have I just don't have the nerve to go through that.
With me, people either want to fix me up with the rejects or the online. I don't know. I draw the weirdos. And I always have a cute picture up there, but for some reason, I draw the weirdos.
Wear a short dress.
Well,
and
look
no
at the guy at the beach. I mean, I had to jump into my car, wait for some people to walk by to get rid of him.
Really?
Yeah, he thought that because I agreed to let him walk with me. I agreed. I said, like he's some little puppy, you can walk with me. But I mean, I didn't mean you could put your arms around me and start breathing on my neck.
Well.
And that's what he did. And it's like, I said, get your hands off me.
Oh, yeah, he touched the wrong one.
Yeah, and then he started
well,
this.
You're not a touchy-feely
Oh, yeah,
person.
I like to have sex. I do it a lot. And I'm just ignoring him, I'm just ignoring him. And he goes, and then all of a sudden he goes, but you know what? I really like your lips. I thought, now I know now I know I gotta go. But I haven't seen him back there now. I seen him once more the time when I had to dive into my car because he pulled his truck right up next to my car. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know this man. Who's to say what he was going to try to do? He was angry.
Was it a pickup truck?
Yeah, a big construction truck. Mm. But, it's just weird because I don't know where they would get that impression that I would want them to touch me. I have to like somebody, and I make a point of telling somebody that. You got to be a friend of mine before anything.
Yeah.
Because
they don't
if we
know
have an affair and that, we have to be friends.
Yeah.
That's a big part of a relationship.
Absolutely. Has to start there.
So we ain't going to start out pulling our pants down and having sex because I'm not Tinder dating. Because I heard on Tinder, you have to really specify that you're not out for that.
Now, what is Tinder? I've heard of it.
Tinder is a man and a woman's site. It goes both ways. If women like women, men like men, and man likes woman, woman
younger
likes...
people? Is that what the Tinder part
I've had
means?
A client that was older that went on there, and she had told me she had told the guy, she wasn't interested. It wasn't about sex. Mm-hmm. And she was all excited when they were going to go out, but that's really probably where his mind was. Mm-hmm. But now, I think a kid from my son's school created that one too, and Tinder's probably one of your biggest sites.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. Well, I'm going to create one so that if you go to my site, my dating site, it's for one purpose and one purpose only. Hit it and get it. So, cut through the chase. If you're just going to meet someone, to have sex, then go to hititandgetit.com.
Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, they don't look like the picture.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I have clients that put up pictures, and that picture was probably when they were 18.
18? That's messed up.
And same thing with men. They'll put up pictures when they were in great shape. Because I know somebody, when she went to meet the guy, she said he probably weighed 300 pounds.
Damn.
But his picture didn't show 300 pounds.
Right.
And she wouldn't have cared, but put up your real picture.
Right.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, they either Photoshop all the wrinkles away or whatever.
Yeah.
So you don't know really what you're meeting. I always suggest, like I did, I met him at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
The Asian guy.
Yeah, you shouldn't go on a serious date, with great expectations. A coffee shop, go have a donut or something. But you don't go out to a real 5-course meal and all that.
Well,
or even a movie. I wouldn't even go to a movie on a first date.
The restaurant he was setting up was very expensive, but I had to come short dressed, no panties. Mm. So I guess he was going to tow me.
Tow you? Wow.
I don't know. I've had, when I came to California, I came from Montana, so I was a country girl. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of things I didn't think really existed. And my first job, I think I was a taxi dancer. Have you ever heard of a taxi dancer?
A taxi dancer?
Yeah, you go, and they still have them, too.
Really?
And you sit on this line, and the men come in, and they clock you out to dance. Now, you know how I am about somebody putting their hand on my shoulder. So can you picture me, a taxi dancer? I couldn't figure out why these women were so popular that didn't look great or nothing till I looked out on the floor, and they're just there to dry screw you. So I didn't last. I got fired.
Dry screw you?
Yeah, to hump you.
Bump and grind.
Like when you were, yeah. So I didn't last at that. My next job was, I loved to dance. And to me, dancing was like a go-go dancer. Well, It wasn't. I go to the place, and he told me to wear a bikini. Mm. I thought, oh, that's okay. That isn't what it's about. You're supposed to take that top off. I was up there. My legs were shaking. I was like trembling. He told me to get down. He said, get off the stage.
Get off the stage now.
He said, wait tables. You can wait the tables. So I've had some strange jobs.
This is a go-go dance or a stripper?
I think it was the topless.
Topless.
Because he kept telling me to take the top off, and the guys were yelling, and I'm shaking. I mean, my legs were doing this.
Scared to death.
Yeah, because it's like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
I've had some experiences because I had to have a job to come here.
Right.
I had kids. I had my kids when I was very young.
Was the money good? Did you?
I never lasted. They fired me. I told you the taxi dance was dry humping, and this was take your top off, which I didn't know. I'm trying to think of my next job. Oh, I became a bartender. I was very popular as a bartender.
I could see that. Yeah.
Because I wore short dresses because I had to ride a bike to get down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I bartended in a club on Adams, which was majority black.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have my little shorts on or my short dress to take my bike to work.
Right.
I would ride down from Hollywood down to Adams. And I'd go back up at 2 in the morning on my bike. And I made good money. By then, I had started learning the game and that. And I was trained by another bartender. He said, "Now you're not a good bartender." And he said, "This between me and you, Carol, unless you can steal."
Mm.
And I said, "Well, is that right?" And he said, "Listen to what I'm telling you, honey. I became a good thief."
No.
Most bartenders, that's how you can make,
make
money. They still, when they brought the computers in, you could still do it because they have happy hour.
Mm-hmm.
So you just stack up a bunch of shots and you sell them when the happy hour is over and you've already paid for it.
Mm.
So you don't put it through the machine.
Got it.
So that's your bank.
Wow.
So that's part of being a good bartender. If you don't know how to do that, you're not a good bartender.
Got to be a criminal.
I guess you could call it that. But I was a good bartender, though. I had lots of men lined up on my bar because I could gamble. I knew at that time I used to play dominoes. I could play backgammon because I was one of these people, I have to be better than a guy. I was kind of a tomboy when I was younger. So I had to climb trees
Competition.
better than a boy. I had to be able to beat up a boy to prove I could do this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was very competitive. So when I would sit at the bar, the men loved that because I could play all those games. Now I don't even know. I don't even play them. I don't even think I remember how.
Right.
But I was a good bartender.
I would imagine you'd be entertaining as well. Cause,
I was very entertaining.
I bet.
I would tell stories and jokes. And I had a few women trip with me. I had one throw a glass at me. But
Really?
I don't know how, but a bottle slipped out of my hand. I do not know how that happened. I remember I got robbed, and the owner got mad because I gave the money to the person. I go, "Your money's insured. My life isn't."
Wow.
And I know they're insured. When you work in a bar, that bar is insured for that money.
Sure.
And he got mad that I gave them the money. What, should I sit there and let him shoot me?
Yeah.
Because if I get shot, I'm gone. So that was an issue. Because people used
Was that the same bar?
Same bar.
Mm.
It was right on Adams. It was years ago.
How long did you bartend?
Well, probably about maybe 6 years.
Really?
Because I went to other clubs because I became popular, and clubs would ask me if I had any extra days where I could work at their club.
Mm.
And the funny thing is, I don't drink. I don't drink any alcohol whatsoever.
Well, at least you didn't drink up the profit.
Nope.
You know, that's good.
And it was, I think I enjoyed it at the time. It was great money.
Now, you've had a lot of different experiences in life. What would you say would be something that you wish you would or could have done that you never got the opportunity to do?
I wanted to be in special effects. I went to school for that. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm very good at making, when I used to you had to take art classes and everything
Right.
because you had to design faces on people, like Games of Thrones. If you look at those characters, that's the type of stuff I learned to do. Whenever we would get somebody, say they brought in a beautiful woman or a good-looking man,
Right.
I drew from the dark side. They become a sinister to me. They never came out like that. I drew from the other side of my brain,
Okay.
which was great because people in special effects, they're good at that. Like I created masks. I remember I did the Planet of the Apes for one of my finals, and it was really cool what I did. I did work at a mortuary for a minute to rebuild faces that they could, but I couldn't do it. I did it, I think, 3 times, and I just couldn't do it.
Too emotional.
Well, it's kind of hard because you use mortician wax and you cut skin off and you have to pack it in there. And I do know how to build frontal bones and all that. I'm a lot smarter than people really realize because I did end up becoming a makeup artist after that. But I was very hurt because I spent so much time learning everything to do special effects. That was always my dream. And when I met Michael, he could have got me into it, but by then I didn't want it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't fair, and you still don't see a lot of women in special effects.
Yeah.
And I used to do people on Halloween. You'd be shocked at some of the things I could do to a person's face.
You know what I always wanted to do?
But
Be a captain of a cruise liner.
I could see you doing that, definitely.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I didn't venture off to do. But it was always one of those things that said, man, I think that would be really cool to be there at the helm of a big,
Well, you know what,
300-foot ship or something.
even if you couldn't do that now, I have an older uncle, and you're a good-looking man. You could be an escort
Wait a minute, Carol.
on the
Wait.
cruise ship. They literally pay guys that are on that cruise ship and women.
Yeah?
Their job is to dance with you and be like an escort.
Really?
Yeah. My uncle did that. My old uncle did that. Very good-looking man. And when my brother was telling me, we were laughing. I said, was he like a hooker? He said, well, I don't know. He said, maybe at times if things were right. But they do
God.
hire people on cruise ships to come on there and you dance
Be a
with the
gentleman.
Yes. So and these women think they've met a catch on there.
Yeah.
But that's a known fact. My
No,
uncle
you-
did do that.
No, I couldn't do
But
it.
I could see you being a captain. You have that look to be a captain.
Yeah, I just think it would the adventure in it, and be out there on the ocean.
Is that Avon calling?
It sounds like it. Yeah,
Should I check it?
yeah. Check it out. See what it is.
You know, Avon sounds like that.
Ding dong. But yeah, I always thought that would be a nice adventure to get out on the open sea and go go across the ocean. I had a smaller experience when I had my own 50-some foot yacht, and so I played captain on that. It was fun. I love that. A lot of people buy yachts and they don't move them often, but I traveled in my boat. That's what I bought it for, not to sit around and as a floating bar, the party ship. But I cruised a lot with my boat because that's why I bought it. I want to be out there on the ocean and then see the country the way the settlers saw it when they came here. Obviously, the landscape is different now. There are no high-rise apartments and stuff on the ocean front. But I can imagine what that must have looked like when people came here for the first time on those old wooden sailboats. And they didn't know what they were about to discover. What was beyond those shores. Not necessarily what country or land or continent, but what was there. Can you imagine what that was like when you rolled up to a country for the first time? You'd never been there before, and it was, in your mind, what's there? Are there people there? What kind of animals, insects, fish? What's beyond that shoreline? That must have been pretty interesting to experience that. I was just talking about, what it must have been like when people came to this country or landed on any land from another country, not knowing what was there in the beginning.
Oh, you mean like Columbus when he took our land?
Yeah, like when that son of a gun came
When
over.
they had the nerve to call us savages. That
Yeah.
used to be our name, Savage.
Savage, yeah.
But I would swear they were the savages.
Of course, because the things that they inflicted upon the Native Americans was wrong.
I mean, that's all they say is we're savages.
What was
We took scalps. They took
Yeah.
scalps, too. Come
exactly?
on.
Now, looking back into your Native American history, what was this country called before people from other countries came here?
I don't know. I have a big book I'll bring in to you
Yeah.
to read. You might enjoy it.
I'd be interested in knowing what.
I don't think it was called America.
I don't think it was either.
I think it was just Native Americans who hadn't really seen the outside world.
Yeah.
And they led you to believe that if you got on those ships, they were going to take you to this beautiful world. And a lot of tribes they didn't get to and they didn't leave. And that's when they started coming in and taking our land and killing us and
So when they came,
slaughtering us.
when they came here and made this promise of showing you this, where did they take you? Just out in the ocean and get rid of you?
I don't really know. I think they made slaves out of us.
Wow.
I think we became slaves. I know when they made it their country, the white man, because it was really Columbus is Latin.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it all got confused, but I guess that's how it became the United States or America. They just became whatever they are.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them, I don't quite understand, why you would come and take people's land. But they're kind of doing the same thing right now in the Amazon forest.
Yeah.
They're starting to mow it down. And it's kind of sad because these particular people that live in these jumbles of forests, they have no disease. They don't have diseases. So that's telling you something about these people. But they're going to bring disease to them now. They're tearing their forests down.
The
Who knows
rainforest.
what all they're doing to them?
Well, it's all about the money. The trees are valuable, the wood, and it's not about protecting.
Well, you
what
could kind of
once
see
was.
the United States, America is gearing to do that kind of stuff here again. By the time they're done, which I hope isn't in my lifetime, they will own everything. The rich, it'll be owned, and it'll be like a movie I've seen once where that we don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
We will live on one side, they'll live on another. I mean, they're getting like that now.
Yeah.
I watch where I live. If they follow you and see your tag and you don't, and they check you up and see you don't live there, they find a way to get you out of there, out of Culver City. They're really assholes, those cops.
Well, knock on wood, I haven't had any bad experiences yet.
It's just kind of
cops.
sad what mankind
In
thinks
California.
they can do to other people. I mean, look at if you go back in the Roman days, they put people in an arena.
Mm-hmm.
And you fought, and then they would turn the lions loose,
Yep.
and you would fight them. Well, people set up, and they cheered it on, and if he wanted it to die, he put his hand down or up.
Thumbs
But
down, yep.
could you imagine that? And it wasn't just a person of color or people like that. It was all races they did that to. And
Yeah. Fight to
it's-
the finish.
When you think about it, it's kind of sad. And I remember when we were getting ready to vote again, I go, there's more of us than them. There's more of us minorities. But now I'm starting to realize it don't matter because we don't have the weapons. Unless everybody turns on them and says, let's do a revolt on these people. Because, I'm watching the rich. They're out of control. They don't care.
No?
Everything that you see they're moving in on, there's somebody that owns something really big in here. Everybody he's bringing in that cabinet, check out their background on them.
Well, I know.
It's frightening.
It is. It's birds of a feather flocking together for one purpose, and that's to benefit themselves and not nobody else. And when you talk to the Trump believers and supporters, people who voted for this idiot, they will always, I guarantee you, try to change the topic and start talking about Hillary or Obama or somebody else. They can't stay on topic because they know they can't win the argument when it comes down to how bad this guy is.
Now, because they can only think with one brain. They want power.
Well, of course. But they always redirect the conversation towards Hillary or somebody else. They won't sit there and you say, what has he done since he's been in office? Name one bill that's been passed. They can't do it. They don't know. Because not much has been done other than the buffoonery and the foolishness that this guy does on Twitter. What does he really stand for? What did he run on? They can talk about that.
I look at him as
but what has he accomplished?
Ignorant.
He's a crook. He's a shyster.
And
He's
we're
a
all
liar.
going to pay for it.
He's a liar. His sons, his daughters, his son-in-law, everybody connected to him are corrupt. And Turtlehead, Mitch McConnell, now he's going to hold over the Senate House for the first 2 weeks in August to get another bovine version of an affordable health care. Well, let's call it what it's going to be. Let's call it Trump care. So anything that they come up with, it will be branded Trump care because that's what they want. They don't want it to be Obamacare. They don't want it to be the Affordable Care Act. They want their own version of it. That's why they're pushing to dismantle this thing and start over. Well, buddy, y'all had 8 years to get it together. Now it's going into 8.5 years, and you still don't have it together. Why should we as American citizens believe that you guys are capable of putting together something that's better? You've had 8 years to do it, and you've had, 3 or 4 failed attempts? That is disgusting. There's nothing good about that. In other words, we have put our faith, trust in your hands, the Congress of the United States of America, and that includes both the House and the Senate. And this is the best that you can come up with? In 8 years? Really? You all should be fired. Every last one of you. Every one of you. You're not capable. You're not focused. You don't have our best interests at heart. Because you've been bought and paid for by the special interest groups. You've been pimped out. Your allegiance are not with the American people. It's your own personal greed. Where's my water when I need it?
Don't you kind of think, though, a lot of wealthy people think like him?
Well, they do. They're selfish. The wealthy people that make money offer products and services that we buy, that we help construct, create, design, sell. They don't care. They don't care. People work for you for 20, 30 years or until they die. They say, oh, Lee was a good man. He worked hard, and we're going to miss him. And they send some roses to your family.
And they look at you in your coffin and they go, oh man, he looks so good. And they'd be very serious. I won't go to funerals.
I want to get up and spit on all of them.
Oh yeah, they blew his face up in his body. They put that bombing shit in him and
Yeah.
put some makeup on him. That's kind of morbid, huh?
Yeah,
Well, they do all that.
they do. You
And
know,
I know you've heard people say, look, they're walking by and they go, your dad looks real good. Haven't you heard people
of
do
course,
that?
absolutely.
It's like, how are you looking at my dad? And my dad's dead. And you know they've been bombed him and froze them up. And you're going to tell me, oh, your dad looks
Oh, wow, he
really
looks
good.
great. He really looks great. Nice suit.
You wouldn't even know he died from cancer and was down to 80 pounds.
Yeah, right?
That's why I just look at it as a business.
Yeah. I don't like funerals. You know,
I won't go to one.
You and I are kind of similar on that.
I'm not going to mine.
It's well, I plan to be late for mine, but I'm probably going to end up coming. But it's too emotional for me.
No, I don't. I'm donating
really is.
myself to science because, see, when people go to be a doctor,
Yeah.
I used to have a tutor for my kids, for Clay and Sky. And this girl was going to UCLA to be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And she would tell me how they'd give them each a head. So they use, even if
They
you're
give you a
old, they
head.
use that head. So my head will probably be sitting on somebody's desk. Can you imagine that? You go in and say you were somebody that knew my kids and you had visited, and you're going to school to be a doctor, and you're in there, and this day they're practicing how to cut open the head and do this. Could you imagine it being somebody that possibly you knew from your friends, that it was their grandmother? That's a trip. But I did donate my body because I don't want my kids to have to spend anything. Go out and have a party. I'm totally against all that.
Yeah, I would trip out if I
Why do people have to cry?
walked into the lab and somebody's body was laying there that I knew, and we had to go in and dissect you, and you know,
No, they give them each a head. It sits on their desk, and they
just your head. That's all
just
you.
a head.
Well, what
She
about the
told
rest
me-
of your body?
Well, they use that for other stuff.
Yeah.
The head is when they're looking at it and they're teaching them how to do certain operations. So they're cutting your cranium off, whatever you have, and looking at it. You're an experiment. So you'll walk in a room and see it. Could you imagine accidentally going in the wrong classroom and there's a bunch of human heads?
Right. No, I'd piss on myself. No, I don't know. You know, I can appreciate donating your body to, science and all of that. But I don't know, man.
Well, how can they be doctors if they don't have something to cut on?
yeah, I
You
get that.
think people think, I don't like the fact they take animals that are healthy and do stuff too. I'm totally against that. I can see
I
taking
just-
an animal that's dead and doing
Yeah.
the same thing you do with a person.
Well, I guess I don't want to, you know. I'm a little protective of these.
Now, wasn't Vegas having problems with finding men that were picked up by somebody and their body parts were removed?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
see.
would leave all the stuff so they'd be okay. But
Yeah.
teachers, didn't these girls drug the man or something?
Yeah, they drug them and take their liver or kidney or
See,
whatever.
people think that only happens in other countries, but I remember
happens here.
reading about it in Vegas.
Sure. Yeah, they come in the room and find a cat, cut open and lying in a pool of blood. Yeah.
And they don't usually die because they
Some
stitch them
don't.
back up.
They can be found soon enough. Shit. No, I don't know about that donating your body to science because I don't want nobody cutting on my penis and my nuts and all of that.
Well, that's how they have to do science. So
Oh,
they
they
can
got-
have me.
go find a monkey or something.
It's
Leave
only
these
the
alone.
shell. When you die, your spirit goes into the third dimension or the sixth.
How do you know?
I know. When my dad died, I know.
Yeah. Did he come back and tell you, hey, look, I'm in
He
the
went
third
into
dimension?
a coma,
Yeah.
and he was more or less dead.
And then what happened?
Well, I know people don't believe this, but I could bring people that were witnesses. He came to my house, his spirit. You could feel it coming through the house. And I wasn't going to say nothing to my roommate or my kids. And we all said the same thing, and none of us were in the same room. And it was funny because that particular night, he went into a coma. He was basically dead. And people have been known to go into comas and leave their bodies. I definitely do believe in another dimension. I believe this is just a shell.
So what's the purpose of us being here now in this dimension?
I guess because we're all whole or something, or we're borrowing this. I don't know. And a lot of times, have you ever had flashbacks like, wow, I've been there before?
Yeah.
I tell people, well, if you think about it, where did you come from? You came from your mother's stomach. You grew. Mm-hmm. So don't you think she came from someone's stomach and she grew? So
you think we're reliving the experiences
yes.
that your mother
You're
had?
like a tree. You can take a tree and cut off a branch and put it in some water and reroot it.
Yeah.
But it all relates back to the same thing. I mean, they say the world began with two people, Adam and Eve. So it definitely makes sense when you think about it. When you have babies, it comes from your body. It's your egg or your seed. So
yeah. Well, I hope you're right.
I've sat with people that thoroughly believe in that dimension, and they can really explain it to you.
Yeah.
And when you die, I think your shell dies, but I don't think your spirit. I think your spirit goes into the dimension.
I hope you're right, because when I go into that dimension, I got a lot of people I want to mess with.
Yeah, they say you're weightless.
Yeah.
So they might be in here with us right now. Hello.
Yeah.
I sincerely believe in a lot of that. I just think it's like anything. You buy a car, it gets old, it breaks down, you get another car. I think it's the same thing with your body. When the body dies, it's the shell that dies. But the spirit, I believe, lives on.
Yeah.
It can live on through your kids.
Well, I think I'm in the same mindset in believing that as well. Because there are times when I know that I feel something, and I feel like I'm in communication with my mom and dad, and I lost a sister and a couple of uncles and aunt. And, there are times when you feel like they're there with you. You know what I mean? And especially when I'm out driving, I feel like my mom is like in the passenger seat with me. I can't see her, but it's just a
you can
feeling.
feel her.
Yeah. And she's saying, "Stay awake, boy. Wake up. You can make it." But I think those are the words that we heard so often from our parents, especially. And I've shared those words, from my dad.
Well, I think when my little brother died, he seemed to be at peace.
Uh-huh.
They brought him home from the hospital. He didn't want to be there to die. He was 8 years old, and he knew he was dying. And when he died, he just died very peacefully. I mean, it's sad when you see a kid die. And it's the way it goes. That's the one thing we're promised when we're born. We got to die.
Yeah, that's true.
People go, no, we got to pay taxes. I said, no, you can go to prison now if you don't want to pay them.
You don't have to.
Yeah, but you do got to die.
Yeah, that's a guarantee.
I just don't want to die in a fire.
Yeah, I don't want to die tragically.
No.
I would just rather die either
in your sleep.
In your sleep. Yeah, just go to sleep and
then everybody
don't
the
wake
next
up.
day says, well, Lee was so healthy. I just don't know what could have happened because he was so healthy.
Well, he died.
Yeah, and he died because he walked every day and he worked out and he ate good, and I just don't know what happened. But he sure looks good. Now, they do that at funerals.
Oh, they do.
Everything I'm saying, that's why I don't go to funerals.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong.
You ever been to a funeral when the family members get to crying and want to get in the casket and all that with the dead person?
I don't go to funerals.
No.
I had to go to my mother's, my dad's, my 3 brothers, and I said never again. Never again. I will not go to a funeral. Even if something happened to my kids, I won't have a funeral.
No.
No. And I've heard about people trying to jump in and that, but
Yeah,
I think they've stopped where now they don't let you be there at that part when they lower the casket into the ground.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be buried under the ground.
Yeah, I have a fear of that.
You know,
phobia.
just give me to science or burn me.
Yeah.
But
Now I want to be stuffed and I want to stand in the corner.
of where?
I don't know. Put me in your living room.
You ain't sitting in my living room.
I can't seem to get nobody to to house me that way. I told my daughter.
Well, except
and
it
she
has
said,
so
"Oh, hell
much
no."
stuff in the basement, they could put you there. Nobody'd even know.
No. Yeah, no. I don't want to go to the junkyard. No. Put me in a museum. I'm going to be standing there in the corner with my arms folded. And this hand's going to be out like this. My head's going to be cocked to the side. I'm watching you. And I have one eye open.
And I'd probably come up with a bat and swing it to knock you down or hope you break in pieces.
Oh, hell no.
I can't stand to look at dead people. But everything I'm saying is true. They do say that. They do look in the coffin.
Oh, look at him. He looks so peaceful.
Oh, and
they did a good job on him. Look at he looked 20 years younger. Damn. They do. I've heard them.
Well, a lot of funerals now. I know when my friend's daughter passed away, I went to that funeral. I went to 2 more. I went to Dee Dee Jackson's when she died, when the guy killed her, and I went to Anita's when her daughter, but they keep the family separated, and sometimes they put them behind a curtain now.
Now, there's some things that I think you just don't do at a funeral. You don't take a picture of the dead person in the casket.
That's what this idiot did. I didn't go to Michael's stuff. His family wanted me to, and for everything there. I said, no, Michael wouldn't have liked that.
Yeah.
I heard his makeup artist, Karen Faye, was sitting on his casket having people take pictures of her.
No.
Why would you do that?
That's just disrespectful and disgusting. That's one thing. You don't take pictures of the dead person in the casket.
And put it on Snapchat.
Yeah, you don't try to climb into the casket. These are things you just don't do.
Or steal their jewelry.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Because they say that does happen.
Yeah, they do. And the funeral home directors might rob you before you get in the
They
ground.
say that happens.
Yeah, that's true.
Cut your hair off and sell it for wigs.
Really? I imagine so, yeah.
Well, I don't know where all this gray hair comes from to make blonde hair.
That's how they make it
That
from
makes
gray
the
hair?
best blonde hair, gray hair.
Really?
It's eerie. I don't come out of my room at night when I'm there alone. I'm getting better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I feel a presence. I don't know what it is. I can't get past it.
Yeah. We all have phobias and fears of some
I
kind.
could
I
never
guess.
stay in the house you're in. Never.
No.
Never.
Well, I
Houses
just think
like that are too big, and people can be hiding in there, and you wouldn't even know it.
well, I mean, if you keep your place locked up and,
But
How you
a lot
gonna
of
know?
times people don't keep their place locked up.
Well-
They leave something open, and
yeah, that's true.
I'm sure the rats can run in too if you leave a garage
A
open.
rat can get in anything. Big
yeah,
house or small
they
house.
can constrict to be flat,
Yeah, I
so they
know.
can come right through a crack.
Sure can.
But I know my one sister will be waiting there with a bat and just smash them.
Yeah.
Because she cracks me up. That dang mouse came in my house. I swatted him and killed him. She talks like that.
Now, which sister's that?
My sister Donna. She's very country.
Where she live? Down south?
Yeah, Arkansas.
Arkansas?
But she cracks me up. She don't say all that now, but I remember years ago she'd tell me that. Or she went to crank up the car.
Crank up the car. Yeah, she's country. She's country.
Well, I was sitting in my kitchen with a client last week We were watching a rat because the clubhouse is right across from me.
Mm-hmm.
We watched a rat come up out of the fireplace over there.
Really?
I called over and said, you know what? Because you guys got a rat living in that clubhouse. They said, what do you mean? I said, we just watched him climb up out of something over there, I think the fireplace, and walking on the roof. I said, no, it's a rat. It's not a squirrel. It's a rat. I said, and then people complain because we have feral cats. Well, those feral cats eat those rats.
That's right. Yeah, usually when you have wild cats around, you don't see field mice and
yeah,
rats
because I
typically.
watched the one cat over here catch a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
That poor little mouse, he suffered because he would hold him for a minute and then bat him around with this.
Yeah,
I was
they play with
watching
him. Yeah.
Then he had him by his tail and that, and then he let him go for a second. He slapped him again.
Yep.
I thought, why don't you just go on and kill him and eat him and leave him alone?
Play with him. That's part of the
I felt
thing.
sorry for that little mouse.
You know, Heather says she hasn't seen the cat lately.
She hasn't. I seen him the other day.
You did? How long ago?
I parked over. I came over here. Nobody was here. Is he black?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sitting there.
She said she put food out, was there 24 hours or so and nobody had eaten it.
I seen a cat, though, when nobody was here, I think I came by here for some reason. I think I parked my car and left it here and walked over to the mall thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she said she hadn't seen the cat in over a week.
And I seen the cat sitting up on the...
In the last 7 days?
Yes. I seen him sitting on that thing.
Yeah.
Because I go, oh, dang, and I wish I had some food. And it was a day when, must have been Sunday or something. Mm-hmm. It had to be a day when no one was here, but I didn't have no food.
Yeah,
he
Heather
was just
saying,
sitting up on the thing.
I saw her yesterday. She said she hadn't seen him and he hadn't been eating the food. She thinks that he goes somewhere else when it gets really hot. So, I don't know.
Nobody has seen coyotes lately, have they?
No, not that I'm aware of.
She's been pretty smart, though, and maybe she's pregnant, and she's got a kitten somewhere.
Maybe so. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, because who got the one down at the bottom of the hill pregnant?
Don't look at me.
Well, I hope not.
It wasn't me. Not this cat. Well,
Elmo wasn't here today.
Yeah, he played hooky. I don't know what's up with Alpho today. I hope he's okay. Well, we got to get out of here. So you have a good weekend. You're going to go do a couple of musical things.
I invited you to go tonight.
I know, but I got to drive.
Yeah.
My passengers they're calling for me. I haven't been out all week. Didn't feel like driving. I just didn't have the energy, I guess. Well, I did a little bit Monday morning, so I haven't driven since Monday. Yeah. So I got to go out today. So listen, guys, you guys have a good weekend, safe weekend. Thank you so much for listening and hanging out with us. It's been the Lee Michaels Show. We do it Monday through Thursday on thepowerofvoices.com, Facebook / The Power of Voices, YouTube / The Power of Voices. You can also download our app. We've just updated it, by the way. You can get it on Android or the Apple platform. So check it out, the Power of Voices app from your favorite store. Have a safe weekend and don't give up hope. We're going to get the chumps out of the White House. Get some people in there that truly love America, not their own selfish greed. God bless to all of you. Be safe. We'll see you Monday morning at 10.